Welcome one more day to space and harmony. It's a lovely evening. I'm contemplating the sunset. There is a gentle breeze as well. I hope it doesn't disturb the sound too much. Now what I'm going to tell you today is something that can transform us when we are able to understand it right now, wherever we are. It's something that is going to expand the keys I gave in the previous video concerning the manifestation of our fullness by becoming magicians, perceiving the wholeness with intuition, making connections and paying attention to details, something which was already taught by the Master Yeshua. And at the end of the video we are going to do a little cosmocommunication meditation in order to feel the fullness and be able to express it in our daily life. And if this were not true, I wouldn't be able to speak as I am speaking today. All of you don't know that 20 years ago I was a much more introverted person. I was not able to express myself as now, and I could say I had a blockage of expression, and this is not something so uncommon. Many people find it hard to express what they have inside, but by means of inner work, reflection, pondering, understanding, I little by little came to be able to express myself. Before that, I was good expressing myself through music. I'm a musician, a composer. But as I developed myself, my musical expression improved as well. And I could perceive the magic I was telling about the other day, which comes from the fullness of our being. And as I said, I wouldn't be alive either, very likely, if I hadn't been able to connect with this fullness and keep connected to my mission in life. This is fundamental. So today I'm going to give you 3 keys in order to understand very precisely this fullness and manifest it outside, not just as a theory or an ideal vision for the future. No, it has to be now. So remember briefly the 2 examples I gave concerning the teaching of Yeshua. He spoke about trusting in the divine verb, the divine manifestation, the divine fullness of being. And then we would be able to tell a mountain to move into the water, and the mountain will do it. Now, most people think this is literal, and this is a problem because he was not speaking from the physical point of view, even though we can affect the physical world. Actually, as we saw, one of the sayings of Yeshua, gathered in the Gospel of Thomas, says, when you make the 2 into 1, the outside like the inside, the above like the below, and you make woman and man as a single unity, then you will enter the sphere of wholeness, plenitude, so-called kingdom of heaven. So this means he was speaking about a sphere which transcends the physical but can affect the physical. So with regard to the example of the mountain, realize that in our life we have mountains to climb and also mountains to dodge, to go sideways, so that we can move into the other side, so to say. Even physicists tell us that the world we see is not real at all. Physicists think that the most real are subatomic particles, the boson of Higgs, they call it, the particle of God, but not even particles are real. There is something that goes beyond any particle. There is a movement of loving life that can carry us away from all destruction, but we have to be able to surf on this wave. And for that we need a huge amount of energy which is already available. The problem is that we are wasting energy constantly through tensions in the body, unnecessary actions, lower passions, feeding lower passions, many negative emotions, criticism, judgment towards the world, towards others. So that has to become silent so that energy keeps growing within ourselves. Because what's the point of receiving all the love, all the life, all the energy that we need if we are squandering it? It makes no sense. So the first key is energetic economy. We can say that the key of spirituality is energy economy. Save energy, and always for the purpose of manifesting the qualities of the true source. However, realize how in our society those who have the money usually squander it, especially politicians, bankers, big magnates. They spend huge amounts of money on useless enterprises to pollute, making entertainment businesses, buying luxurious mansions, cars, and doing many horrible things. I'm not going to mention them. You can imagine, because this is not a question of judging negatively or condemning. This is just a way of understanding what is taking place. It doesn't make any sense if I criticize someone and then I squander energy myself. There are many people who attack those who are on the top of the social pyramid, and then they squander money as well when they have it, or they feed their hatred against the rich or against people of other races. They waste energy thinking too much about the problems they have, the worries, what someone did to them, and so on. So we have to be coherent with what we do and what we say. Realize we have been given a tremendous chance to evolve, but we have to use the opportunity. We have to catch the wave. So the second key is to move in the right direction. Use all our mind, heart and body in order to accomplish our essential life mission. Not selfishly, but to help others. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm using the skills of communication, filming videos. I also make music. I try to help others by means of counseling. And this is part of my life mission. And now I have the sense that I am accomplishing what I came for. And this is very important because we have to live meaningfully, always, even if we are not able to express all our talents. We need to work on our talents to develop our natural skills so that we can express fully this magic within ourselves. I perceive this especially by composing music, because it usually comes naturally through me, but it took time to acquire certain skills in order to express it better, so to say. So the magic is already there, but we need to come to a point in which our mechanicalness doesn't get into the way. The body can function automatically. I don't have to think in how I walk or how I move my hands in the piano now, because I've been practicing a lot. However, as you know, we have to fall many times before we learn to walk when we are babies. And the same goes for learning to play an instrument, drive a car, do whatever. And in this second key, it's always very important to know where we are moving towards. As I mentioned in the previous video, there is a saying by Seneca: there cannot be favorable wind for he who does not know in which direction he is sailing. So we need to have aims, goals, and have also the sense that we are accomplishing goals right now, because this makes us feel fulfilled. And of course, the idea of direction implies hard work. So manifesting fullness is not just a free action in which we can just sit somewhere and wait for something to come out. The other day, a person asked me, well, why many people that are supposedly more spiritually connected are suffering conditions of scarcity, poverty? And this is because very few realize that behind the abundance there is a lot of work. But it's not easy to recognize it. There is also much suffering. When 2000 years ago the Master manifested, there were many people who were working with him. Women were in charge of managing, distributing the money, and there was also a spiritual work done through the ages. Different souls work through different ages in order to help the Master and those around him at that precise moment in time. And realize that many times we feel scarcity, or we fall into conditions of scarcity because we have caused a short circuit. We have obstructed the flow of energy, either in this life or in a previous life. Because those who are spiritually connected have a soul, and this soul in many occasions has been connected to other existences and lives. But of course, all this can be cancelled as long as we are able to connect with the miracle, the fullness. And this is the third aspect that I want to explore now. And first of all, realize that the life we are having is a miracle, especially on a planet where there is destruction and death all over. It's a miracle to be alive in a planet where 2/3 of the human population exist in conditions of hunger, war, poverty. And besides that, the manifestation itself is also a miracle. However, in this world, life has been modified, distorted, because of fallen modifications in the past, the fallen architects, as I've said many times. And therefore, the miracle has been somehow hidden. The adversary does not want anyone to realize how wonderful life and divine light is. He is afraid of it, because that's destruction for him. Because true light means destruction for the energy of the serpent. And as long as we keep ourselves trapped by the energy of the serpent, we cannot see the miracle. Now, we have to understand the energy of the serpent. We came here to manifest fullness, and for that we need conscience, which is in the middle of wisdom, intuition, and the understanding of opposites. And the miracle always manifests in the straight point of conscience. And for that we also need to expect the unexpected, to flow as if the most wonderful situation was going to happen and is going to happen. We know for sure that the wonders are going to take place, but we somehow do not get attached to expectations. And this was very well expressed by an ancient sage, Greek sage, known as Heraclitus of Ephesus. And he said, if you don't expect the unexpected, you won't find it, for difficult it is to search and to find by trail. Now, Some people might think, well, that's a contradiction, because when you expect the unexpected becomes expected, so it is no longer unexpected. This is not a play on words, it's a true argument. However, we have to understand the profound meaning of the sentence. Expect the unexpected means to be sure that the miracle is going to manifest, but we shouldn't expect it to manifest as we want, when we want, regardless of our situation, because we have to be humble. We have to realize that the miracle we are deeply hoping for will manifest, but at the right time. This does not mean we cannot work in a direction so that this miracle manifests as soon as possible. We can actually remove all the obstacles from our unconscious and subconscious and attract the conditions that will make possible the great miracle to take place. And when I say miracle, I'm referring to any miracle. It can be a healing, a meeting with another person, it can be a project taking place, or something even more wonderful, because there are supernatural qualities that have to be manifested on earth from each one of us, not just some God somewhere. Each one is the miracle. The Holy One manifests through every single one, which is an expression of the One. And be also aware that each one of us has something wonderful to experience in life. It's different for every person, but it has to take place, because we have been born to flourish as trees of life, expressions of the tree of life, and we have to give fruit. And this fruit, it's actually the miraculous manifestation that will make us completely fulfilled. And this is something that we have to start experiencing right now. Trust in the fullness, because it cannot fail. There are even other timelines where the true fullness will come to be manifested if we fail in this timeline. But this should not be something to consider, because we have to succeed in this one. You know what I mean? We have to be sure that whatever we have to accomplish is going to be accomplished right now, because we are what we have to be, where we must be, and doing what we have to do. And now, let's go straight into the meditation. So let's simply close our eyes, and in case you are not familiar with the way I'm leading the cosmocommunication or the meditation, simply pay attention to the breath. It's important to breathe through the nose, because this increases the focus and the awareness. Inhaling and exhaling naturally. If you feel tensions, breathe deeply once or twice. Keep the spine as straight as possible, so that the life energy flows better, especially if you are sitting somewhere. And then let the body relax, and realize how divine life, the divine birth, full of unconditional love, is being constantly expressed through our breath. And this is why the verb was always expressed in names that remind of the sound of breathing. There are different cultures that express the divine holy vibration differently, but to me they are different expressions of the same. I simply choose the Hebrew one because it's very complete and recognized by many. And keeping the attention on breathing, Realize there are moments of stillness at the end of every inhalation and exhalation, and let those moments expand, realizing how the breathing becomes slower and slower, energizing the body. And try to breathe mostly with the abdomen, not with the upper chest, but with the lower part, so that the air goes deep into the lungs. And now that we have become more aware of breathing, let's let go of the tensions in the face, in the head, keeping the awareness of breathing. We also let the arms become more relaxed and more energized. We release the tensions in the hands, upper chest, the back. We allow the air come into the abdomen and release tensions there. Allow the legs to relax more and more. Feel the contact with the feet on the ground. And now realize there is a sensation of wholeness in the whole body. And we cannot be the physical body, because the physical body cannot perceive itself. We are the consciousness, the light emanating from our essential being, coming from a primordial source, the so-called Father of lights. And from this origin comes the unconditional love, the unmodified life, the pure conscience and serenity, which are the main qualities of our true being. And realize how even the lungs are expressing this movement. When they become empty, they mirrored the same action by which the Holy One opens a space in which true life can flow within the Holy One itself and express the divine qualities. Otherwise, nothing would manifest in the presence of infinite light. There must be a space for manifestation. And when the qualities of the infinite source manifest in different expressions, it becomes aware of itself. And this self-recognition is known as the Divine Son, which is the Divine Father becoming aware of itself from a different perspective. But realize that on planets like the Earth, life came to be disconnected because of certain modifications. Even some of the divine sons became disconnected before the fall of this planet. And this generated a fallen life that longs to be reconnected to the primordial source. And this fallen life is in everything around and within us. And by becoming aware of the divine presence in us, we can help life go back to its origin. And this is known as the Holy Spirit, the living spirit or energy that elevates life into the sphere of fullness. And this is something we are doing right now. But realize the Holy Spirit is not something we control. It comes when we make the two into one, mind and body come together, and a reconciliation can take place. The Holy Trinity is really the union of an active force, a passive force like the body of life in different planets, and a reconciling force, which is the emotional dimension, the Holy Spirit, the loving elevation that makes all one in true oneness. So having recognized these divine qualities within yourself, the fullness of loving life and serene conscience, realize you can now keep yourself from manifesting anything negative and destructive. You can remain in your true I amness, so that you can be the miracle that you have to be. We are meant to be the manifestation of a living miracle here on earth, the manifestation of the living body of the Divine Son, and therefore we are meant to be representatives of the primordial source, Father, universal mind. But we need to manifest in accord. We have to be sure that whatever we have to accomplish is going to be accomplished right now, because we are what we have to be, where we must be, and doing what we have to do. Realize that where attention goes, energy flows. So wherever we put our focus, we are going to increase that we are focusing on. So let's not focus on destructive, passional energies, but on the real manifestation of our true being. And this is a task that has to be done day by day, moment by moment, but obviously realizing that we cannot work fully all the time. So let's say that we can work fully for 1/3 of the day and then leave the rest for a more expansive awareness, more relaxed attention, and always ready for the manifestation of the miracle. Remember that nobody but the Holy One knows the best way in which the miracle can manifest in our life. And having said this, hope you find this inspiring. If this is helpful to you, please give thumbs up. Comments are also supportive for the channel, that promotes the channel and makes it more accessible to others. Thank you for paying attention, and as always, remember this is a bilingual channel, so I publish in Spanish and English. So until the next time, blessings of unconditional love, unmodified and unaltered life, and expansive, serene conscience in infinite blissfulness.